Hey everybody, it's Lord Magicus. Alright, we're playing Legacy tonight. Gotta finish getting this set up. Alright. Alright, let's go. We are playing Legacy Fishies, and I am getting the deck list prepared. Just finish it, so I don't need to borrow those. Don't need Borrower. Don't need to ask mana traders for Force of Negations. And I don't need to ask for Cavern of Souls. There we go. I do not need their islands either. I have my own islands, which are here. Okay, good. Now I can submit this. Rent deck. Any minute now. Yes. Gotta get the cards before we can play with them. That's how it works. Mana Trader's gonna give them to me in like a minute. But then we will look at our deck list and then take it into some legacy. Oh, here we go. Ta-da! Alright. Oops. There we go. All the cards. Confirm trade. Motown, hello. Hi. Here for the legacy time. It's good. Alright, now we can add our deck. Import the fishy file. And there we go. Ta-da! Let me get it so we can see all the cards. That's not good. There we go. Better. Okay, cool. So we're basically running the same deck, except one little change. Since so many people have asked me about this card, Magicus, can we play Unlicensed Hearse? Do we really want to play Relic of Progenitus and we have Chalice of the Void and our... Alright, fine. We can try Unlicensed Hearse. I think this card is reasonable. We can play it. There are a few scenarios in which Relic might be slightly better. The big point for Relic is that it can always replace itself, so if they burn like Prismatic Ending on trying to get rid of a Relic, then you can always crack it and draw a card. It can also, and it can get rid of a lot of cards at once. This can only ever get rid of 2 cards at a time. The difference is, the Hearse, you get to pick which 2 cards, and the Hearse itself actually is a card, where Relic really isn't a card by itself. It replaces itself. The Hearse already is an actual threat. So, you get to choose what you're removing, and it can actually get ridiculously big. So, it's worth trying it, because, you can play it, like, it might matter more against decks like, Delver and versus the Uro decks, because then you might want to put Chalice on one, and then also be able to cast the Hearse afterwards, which you can start exiling important cards from the graveyard, stuff that they maybe want to Snapcaster back, or, get rid of, like, artifacts or, creatures or something from the graveyard, so to turn off Delirium, or, maybe you nab, like, an Uro with it. Hearse can help with that. It's perfectly fine, and you can bring it in against stuff like the Maverick deck, because you can start exiling the lands from the graveyard to make the Knight of the Reliquary smaller, make the Life from the Loams not do anything. It's got some utility to it. I mean, it's still vulnerable to a lot of removal, but you know what? That's just how it is. Relic was vulnerable, so you can use its ability right away, but you can't crew it for at least one turn until you've actually exiled cards. So, the first turn you will exile 2 cards, and then the turn afterwards you can crew it and then block and then also exile 2 more cards. So it'll be a 4/4 once you can actually use it. Yeah, and getting to pick the cards is pretty important. Relic comes out faster against a deck like Reanimator, but the Hearse can actually target the cards in the graveyard, so they can't just like exile a fetch land in order to play around it. Now, the thing is, there are going to be some hands where, like against Reanimator, we might not have 2 lands in order to be able to play this thing, or like just playing it on turn 2 just might not be fast enough, and that's just a risk you have to take sometimes. But I think most of the time it's going to be comparable in speed to the Relic, but it has a little bit more utility against like some of the more fair decks that we were playing Graveyard Hate against, and that's kind of what it's for. Now, you can't look at Grafdigger's Cage the same way, because Grafdigger's Cage does not do the same thing. Like, we are not playing this card, against like Uro. I think that's not good enough. Or, we don't want this against like Delver or anything. We want this against like Reanimator and Dredge and Hogak, where there are a lot of things that are going to come back from the graveyard, and so this covers all of them. And it covers that at 1 mana, so have to have some stuff that, is fast. Hearse is a little bit slower, but it's better against the fair, grindy decks, so can potentially do a little bit more damage to them. And it does, not die to our Chalice in 1, so there is that. So it's not as bad of a top deck once we have Chalice out, so it's worth trying. Otherwise, I think the rest of the list was perfectly fine, and I'm not willing to mess with it yet. Not until I start to see any cracks in it, but so far, it's been performing well, so we're just going to roll with it. And that's how it's going to go. So there we go. That's our plan. We're going to see if the Hearse actually matters in this league over Relic. So, alright. Play points. Let's go. Let's get our league on. We've seen a lot of decks, like, in Modern and Legacy, start to experiment with Hearse. Like, the card is definitely catching on in popularity. I ordered foils right away. Are they near me? I don't know if they're actually close by or not. Oh, no. I think they are. But, oh, we gotta join our match. The cards are a little bit sticky here. I would love to go first. Do I have it here? Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, see? Nice shiny Hearses. I got them like right away. This hand seems great. We're gonna keep it. Okay. I have these cards sitting here on my desk under heavy objects so I can try to uncurl the foils. And it sucks because every time I pick up the thing that they're sitting on top of, they fall all over the place because they stick to the objects. Okay, no more cards on the floor. So we got Cursecatcher. Yeah, so Ancient Den. So this is definitely 8 cast, right? Lotus Petal. So what the fuck? Pure Steel Paladin? They're on 3 cards right now. I feel like we need to counter this. They have a Lotus Petal here. I'm going to get rid of the Silvergill Adept, because I feel like this card is important to get rid of, and I want to keep this other force just in case. Are we, like, facing, like, Legacy Hammer Time? Is that what's going on here? Yeah, because I think if that's what's happening, then yeah, we have to counter Pure Steel Paladin. Like, there's no alternative. We definitely are. Okay, there's the hammer. So we're saving this force for, like, another Pure Steel. Sigarda's Aid? I don't like that. Alright, I guess. Do they have nothing else? I don't want to burn my force in that just yet. Fuck. I was really hoping I could get another blue card or like a land. This Aether Vial is not really helping me right now. I need pressure. I have a True-Name Nemesis, but I really don't want to have to pitch it to force, but that thing is going to become a problem. Okay, fuck. They have one card in their hand. Alright, sure. Yeah, you attach it to itself. Apparently Hammer does exist. I'm hoping that True-Name Nemesis is going to be fine here. They have one card still, so... Alright. Well, it's not great, but... I just hope they don't top deck anything, I guess. I could just not play it this turn, but I think like even if they put a hammer on this thing, it does wall it off pretty well, so hopefully we can draw another blue card for force. Or we can just draw more true names. That would be a good way to win this. Okay. Let's hope we don't see like Stoneforge Mystic. That's a problem. So now if they put a hammer on that thing, we are never blocking it. Okay, well, we're not blocking that, so... Oh god, they have fucking Stoneforge, don't they? Oh no, they're just equipping it. Okay. Interesting. +1/+1 for each. Okay, they're just gonna... They're gonna try to race. Alright, makes sense. As long as they don't get a hammer in play, then we can theoretically race this. Like, I can't block it, so we take 3. But... Alright, yes, and... Is there any reason that I would want this up to 3? I don't think so. Alright, well that's fine, because that means we can counter force now. Or yeah, we can use that for force, so. We're winning this race at the moment, but that could change at any second. Sure. Okay, they played a land. Sure. They have to play around the Aether Vial. A Merfolk Trickster could also, like, definitely set them back a lot, too. I think no. I think no. That's not bad. Doesn't change anything, right? We're still winning the race. Alright. So far it looks promising. We're close. We have an attack for 6 next turn, so right now we're beating this. It has first strike and haste. Equip ability, so they're very far from equipping this. Sure. I think I can beat that. Like, they can't attack with the champion, right? So... That's good. Alright, so we just attack with everything here, so... if they block with the champion, it's not a big deal. I just have Master anyway, so... Um... True-Name kills them next turn. And I have Force of Will for anything they play right now, so... Yeah, like this Ginger Brute is... Yeah, even if they sacrifice the Brute, I still have more than lethal, so... Alright, we win game 1. Excellent. Fuck me, though. This is happening. Alright, Chalice of the Void on 1's probably going to be good. Null Rod is probably going to be helpful here, so that we can stop them from equipping things. I think we want Dismember. I don't think Cursecatcher is very good. Tideshaper might be. Probably want to keep Force of Will. I'm unsure about Force of Negation. Hurkyl's Recall also could be good. We're on the draw, so... I mean, Chalice on 0 on the draw is not that effective, but putting it on 1 would still be helpful. I think I do need to keep Force just because of, like, Stoneforge Mystic. Yeah, Borrower seems important, so maybe Silvergill's the weak link here. They probably have Urza's Saga, so Tideshaper can still kill that. It's irrelevant. It's like, Recall definitely could hurt them a lot. I mean, I guess I could bring this in over the other Silvergills. Alright, we'll do it like this. I feel like we've got a better matchup in Legacy versus this deck. This seems okay. We have Vial, we have Force. We'll try it. Harbinger can bounce something at a critical moment. Sure. Okay. That's an Urza Saga. We'll probably use Tideshaper to kill that thing. If it's Stoneforge or Aethersworn Canonist. I don't think that actually hurts me at all. Because of Vial, I'm only casting 1 spell a turn anyway. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. You take 1. Alright. That's not bad. Merfolk. Let's kill off Urza Saga right now. I mean, I'm fine to trade Tideshaper with this thing if they give me the opportunity. Otherwise, like, it's not that big a deal. That, I think I probably need to counter. That's not great. I'm not happy about Shadow Spear. Not really happy about this either. Should this... Is there any chance we want this on... on Rogue? Probably not. The only thing that would matter is with Brazen Borrower. Let's see. I don't think I want to attack. I want to see what they're going to do here. Okay, Lotus Petal's not the end of the world. Interesting. Really? I think I just do this. I could use Harbinger, but I want to save it because I don't know if something's going to happen here. I think the Lord is worth more to me right now. You can kill off this thing. Maybe that wasn't the right way to do that. Well, they had just 2 swords. Okay, well, it's not great, but if we draw like True-Name, then we could be okay. Alright. So their best bet right now is they can put Shadow Spear in this thing. Ooh, that's not good. Equip Shadow Spear. I'm going to block this because I don't want them having more creatures. Okay. It's not bad. Just pass, I guess. When they make their token, I can just bounce it. Okay, well, that's sort of fine. Still looking for True-Name Nemesis. I could let them hit me with a token once. You only can... Well, I don't think there's anything on 1 that I'm worried about them playing this turn. Like, maybe another Sigarda's Aid, but I think my ideal plan here would be to use Brazen Borrower to bounce a token when they go to attack. What are they gonna find? They might maybe like find another one of these. So they'll have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, I probably don't want to get hit with this token right now. You know what? The other option is no, because the tokens are just gonna kill me too quickly. I have to bounce the construct. I really want to bounce the Shadow Spear, but I can't. We're not in a good spot. I have no choice but to bounce this construct. Oh, that's really bad too. Okay. It's interesting they did. Yeah, I guess they were afraid I might vial something in for that, so. Alright, Okay, that's not bad, actually. I can reset their entire board. Alright, what do I stick this on? I think I stick this on 1. I just have to get hit for 1 turn. And then I will be in good shape. So they won't be able to replay the Brute or the Shadow Spear, so... That was a good draw. And it will literally bounce every permanent in their side of the board right now, so... We want them to draw more 1-drops. Like, we're gonna get hit for a bunch of damage this turn. Ooh, that's not great either. Okay. We get hit for 8, but, like... Okay, this is workable. Alright. Pass the turn. So they lose everything except the Saga, but they won't... Yeah, they are going to have a hard time using it, so... Right. So Null Rod would be great this turn. That's not bad either. Now this, like... I know we only have 2 rogues in the deck that this was relevant for, but, like, it looks really bad for not having that Cavern in this now. Hmm. You don't have 3 artifacts for this Opal at the moment, so... Nope. Alright, now we can do this. Alright, Rogue. We're not doing bad. You do have Dismember, so that's helpful. That's not great. I'm definitely going to have to Dismember this thing. They got Cauldron Complete. Sure. Well, Cauldron Complete is not going to be castable, so... Right, because they need 7 mana for this, and they only have 4 right now. Just do this while they can't do it. We need another island or a blue card to bring this online. Okay, Canonist is okay. Well, it's not really okay, but this is really where we need True-Name Nemesis. Okay. I'm gonna have to block with Lord of Atlantis, and then they're also gonna kill my Borrower with the GT. Sucks, but nothing I can do about it. I need this off the board. Even if it costs me my soul. Sure. Alright. This is still close. We can turn this around. Probably not with that. Alright. Okay, what? They're gonna go for Cauldron Complete now. Good old 5-mana counter spell. Come on. True Name. Give me True-Name Nemesis. No! You're giving them so much time to find another threat to kill us with. Okay, well they missed, we missed. Okay, that's not a miss. Is that Jite can't kill that thing, so... Okay, they drew Lotus Petal, which means they probably have 4 1-drops in hand. Oh. Alright. Can you miss for 4 more turns? Oh, that's not good. That is really not good. That thing can pick up that Jite like it's nobody's business. Alright, we need True-Name Nemesis. This Nettle Cyst is going to be the end of us. Alright. No True Name means we're probably dead. Harbinger could it work? It's not useless. It does keep us alive for at least a turn. Because it means they won't be able to equip the Jite to this thing. Can block here. Take 1. I guess they can gain 2 life here in response, but we're going to have to throw Master of the Pearl Trident in front of this bus. And this is going to come down to, like, we need to find an answer to Nettle Cyst. Alright. No attack, so this has to chump block, and we have to keep throwing things in front of this, and if we miss once, we're dead. If we find Harbinger of the Tides, that would also be really good. Because our opponent is in a very vulnerable position, so, like, one good draw does, like, throw us right back into winning position, so... Like, Harbinger bounce token and block Stoneforge just ends them. Alright, come on, deck, don't miss. That's not bad. Okay, I can work with this. Can at least tap this down for a turn so they don't get to attack. Okay, that does something. I can attack here, right? So I have another Trickster, so... This is one way to potentially come back here, is to just chain Tricksters. Yeah, that's, Chalice of the Void, my dude. There we go. We fucking got it. Alright. Alright, there we go. We managed to get there. We beat Hammer in this format, and Yeah, look at this. True-Name was excellent here. Null Rod is also excellent against this deck. We don't have Null Rod in our deck for Modern, but I mean, look, it just made a huge difference here. I mean, two of the big legacy cards, and also Force of Will. Having Force of Will against like the creatures actually helps quite a lot. So means that sometimes we can Force of Will like Stoneforge Mystic, and it's really important. So I think the tools that we have specifically in Legacy will help against the Hammer versions of a lot more than our game in Modern. So I like it. It's a good start. I definitely feel like against most of the artifact decks, we have a lot of good tools. Chalice in the main deck is going to be very strong against them. And I mean, most of them are relying on Urza Saga, and we do have Tide Shapers to help against that too. So, now, granted, we only have 3 copies in our list here, so like, it's hard to play everything that we want, but still, I don't think I would want less than 3 Tide Shapers. I mean, if I could find room for more, I would play more probably, but it's difficult because I think we already have every card in our 75 is very, very strong. Okay. I have a pile of like Dragonite cards that are just sitting next to me. I have not inventoried yet. They go into my Dragonite card collection. So that's what my mail days have been looking like. Just getting random shiny Dragonites to put in this binder. Let's see. Yeah, I needed to find a use for this thing, so I'll put the camera on here for a minute. Yeah. So you can kind of get an idea of like what I'm doing here. Every version of every Dragonite is going in this binder. This is my new project. I think I have a total of like 60 of them that I'm not including the Japanese prints of the English cards, but I am including promos that were printed only in Japanese. So yeah, I have a bunch already, and a pile that's still sitting here that I have to go through to see which ones arrive, because I have a bunch more still from TCG Play that need to show up. I kind of hate the zipper gets stuck here in the bottom. There we go. Yeah, I bought this Dragon Shield binder because originally I was going to use it for Merfolk, but I did not like that it was ringed on the inside. But since I only have like 4 pages of stuff here in this, it's not that big a deal to me to use it for the Dragonites. I didn't want to have to go out and buy like specific ringed pages for my Merfolk stuff, so I ended up getting a different binder for all of them. And then I had so many Merfolk cards that I had to get a second copy of that binder, which is right here. And these ones look like such. Yeah, we gotta do something to entertain ourselves while we're waiting. Here we go. This is a good page to look at. Tons of shiny weapons. But yeah, I have 2 binders that are just like full of, random shiny cards. And I keep track of when I pull cards out of the binder. I know what goes in each slot, so that's how I keep all my stuff organized now. So I don't accidentally end up with more copies of a card than I'm supposed to have. At least that's the goal. Okay, are we really at 4 minutes for this? There we go, finally. Let's get our match 2 going. I won the die roll. I would love to play. So this hand is probably not keepable because we don't know what we're up against. If I knew that I was up against a deck where Wasteland was good, I would probably keep it. Like, maybe if I knew I was up against, like, 8-cast, this might be okay. It's not okay in the blind. This is much better. And I think for this, I keep this, and I'm probably putting. It's really hard to say put Tideshaper in the bottom, but maybe I just put a Lord of Atlantis in the bottom. That seems fine. Just in case something happens to this Aether Vial, I want to be able to still play something. Whoops, I'm not on my screen here. There we go. Sorry. Yeah, the last card was Lord of Atlantis. The first hand was Trickster, Lord, Island, and then 3 Wastelands. So they pitch Daze, which means we're probably up against Delver. Which means Tideshaper was definitely good to keep here. We need some help. Tropical Island. So this might not be Delver. There's a possibility that this is actually this could be an Uro deck, or this could also be maybe a show and tell deck, but possibly Infect. There's not a lot of like blue-green decks. Like most of them are blue-red these days, so we chose not to shuffle. That can't be good news. Well, we have a 2/2, but we have no way of actually casting the rest of our hand at the moment. But such is the risk of Legacy. That stuff happens sometimes. Oh well. There's Wasteland. Goodbye, Otawara. We drew a Cursecatcher, but that's not really helping our cause right now. And they still haven't really given us information about what the deal is yet. But Cursecatcher might be relevant if this is like a show and tell deck. We'll kind of know. It might slow them down a bit. So now maybe if I can find like another land, then Master the Pearl Trident will be very helpful. Not doing anything? That's surprising. Alright, well we gotta try. We might see Snapcaster. Oh, this is not good. Alright. Tundra, so this is probably an Uro deck of some sort. That would be my guess. Oh, just Endurance. Yeah, that makes sense. Which means Tideshaper's going away. Well, if we can find Cavern of Souls, this is still not hopeless. They're getting rid of Cursecatcher. This has to mean this is like a show and tell deck, right? And they're playing like Prismatic Ending. They're just afraid that I have a Force in hand. No, there's Uro. Why are they so afraid of the Cursecatcher? That's interesting. Okay, well, there's another Wasteland. No fear. Well, that's good. We only get to play one creature, though, so we gotta make it count. I think I'm gonna play Master the Pearl Trident here. Once Uro comes out, it's going to be very difficult to race this thing, so... I mean, they didn't Wasteland my Cavern there. I'm kind of surprised. They can still do it in their turn, though. Uro's coming back now. For sure. Yep. I don't know if we're going to beat Uro in this game. We are going to be bringing in that hearse more than likely, so... Here comes Unchained. We don't have a really good way to deal with it either. Our best bet is to draw something like another Cavern of Souls and try to Trickster it and get through that way. The life gain is going to really hurt, though. I think this means we're dead, but we gotta play it out anyway, just in case they show us more cards. All these true names would actually be useful here if we could get them in play, but we don't have the mana sources for this game. We got a little bit screwed in that. We're going to get attacked for 9. Pretty much like whatever happens this turn, we're probably conceding next turn, but I'm interested to see if they show me another card that I want to know about. This is probably just an Uro deck. I'm just still surprised by the Cursecatcher. Maybe they were concerned I would have had Cursecatcher plus Force to deal with Uro. That is entirely possible. Alright. Ledger Shredder. Okay. See, look, that they did not need to show me that. Why are you still casting cards? Prismatic Ending. They're gonna have to discard something, right? So they show me. All right, they have to discard Tundra. All right, that's fine. I believe them. They've won this game. All right. Hearse will help, I think. Honestly, most of our cards are okay. Borrower is the only thing we have to deal with Uro once it gets in play. I actually am not sure that I want Chalice as much for this match. Because they do have a lot of ways to remove it. It's going to be a little bit clunky. And they have plenty of cards to play on their curve through it. Like, it does turn off the cantrips and, like, swords, I guess. But I don't know, like, that there's much else I want to take out. I think the rest of these cards are actually fine. Like, just curving out and trying to kill them that way is not a bad idea. Alright. It's a tough choice, to be honest. Yeah. You could make some argument for Tide Shaper, but I still want to try to have an aggro plan against them. You can't draw these games out. It's not amazing, but I am going to keep it. Let's cast Silvergill and try to get another land. And then hopefully Hearse will actually be helpful. We're getting an opportunity to hopefully play this card this game. I think they're going to daze this. If they have daze, they probably should. Okay. And they have the mana up. It means they're not like brainstorming, so that's a plus. We have another turn to try to draw a land to play Hearse. The Wasteland? Okay. Come on, give me a land. Fuck! This was the turn I needed to have a land to play this thing before they replay the island. Yeah, I guess you have a hierarch. They might have endurance now. Alright, see if we can get Hearse out. If they have endurance, I'm trying to encourage them to do it now so I can exile 2 cards from their graveyard. So they can block one of these. But now they don't get to turn off this with the Hearse. Because if I would have activated it up first, they could have just played Endurance to counter the activation. And I have the ability to just try to dismember this thing if I want. And hope that Prismatic Ending doesn't come online. Okay, well, I'm probably dismembering that thing. Oh no! Alright, now I guess I have to kill the oof. These dismembers are getting overtaxed. Alright, well there's still the opportunity to use Borrower at some point, so... I need a land. That is so not useful right now. I could bounce the oof and then activate this thing, but it really wouldn't help me very much. Yeah, like I could also dismember it. Then I'm not going to have an answer to this later. This is gonna be rough. I mean, yeah, this match is always difficult if you just like get mana screwed because they have the ability to curve out. Like these like bant lists have gotten way harder to deal with. Back in the day, they used to play like Jeskai so they could play Sensei's Divining Top, and it was basically unlosable for us. But it is now extremely difficult to win. Okay, well, the good news is that we will get to exile that stupid Uro, but the bad news is that I don't know if we're going to live to tell the tale of, like, defeating this Uro. It's going to cost us 4 life to use this Dismember. If I want to do it right now, I can bounce this thing. It's going to take a bunch of damage, but I think I have to. Let's get rid of Life from the Loam and get rid of Uro. And unfortunately, like, yeah, they're still attacking for a bajillion damage, and I don't have good answers to these cards. Shredder is a pretty good addition because it means even if we attack their graveyard, they still have lots of flying power that we can't deal with. Yeah, we're at the point where I think I need to start blocking these things. Can't afford to lose more life at this point. Alright, True-Name, I need you to live. If you have, like, Force, then I just die. That'll probably do it. Like, my best case scenario is I'm taking 7 and I have no answer to this. Alright, we've lost. I have no way of turning that game around. Oh well, it is what it is. It's rough. Maybe if we had, like, curved out properly, like, the hearse could have helped, but they did bring in Oof, so they were clearly concerned about the card. I don't think they bring it in just for Vial. Like, they have to expect that we have, like, Relic or Hearse, right? So Oof makes a lot of sense. I don't know. Alright, we're on the play 3 times, right? That's good. This hand seems fine. We actually can theoretically curve this out, so we have some cards. Can play Vial into Chalice, which is usually a good way to win games. We also have Wasteland, which is nice. What's going on, Isolationist? They're on a mull to 6. That's good. Usually mulligans are good for Chalice. And with any luck, Chalice on 1 will be very good next turn, and we'll go from there. So, getting ready for work, huh? Yeah, well, Force of Will pitching Brainstorm. Okay, so Cantrip Cartel confirmed, so this might be Delver. We'll see. If they use their Force and Vial, then it's going to be probably okay for us, because that means that they won't have it for Chalice, and chances are this is going to be very good, because they are a full Cantrip Cartel. We have now seen 2 of them. And they're on a mulligan, so the chances that they have another Force in their hand, like that they can throw away, not very high. Maybe there's days. They chose not to shuffle, so they liked whatever was on top, but let's hope that Chalice will be good here. Alright, resolve. Because if this resolves, our chances of winning skyrocket. Excellent! Now we are getting somewhere. Flooded Strand, huh? Okay, what do you want to do with it? It's probably not very much they can do with it. I think I'm going to play Wasteland and pass. I'll play Trickster in their end step. I don't want to play, I don't want to play the Otawara yet, because there might be a turn where we need to use its ability. I'm not sure. But maybe I'll draw another blue source, so I won't need to play it for the Borrower. I can still flash in Trickster and Wasteland them, so that's fine. So this forces them, they can't afford to get a non-basic here. That's just not an option for them. Okay, blue-white. So maybe Stoneblade of some sort? Let's see. It's probably not like, or could be like a Days Undoing deck. It's definitely possible. They might have like prismatic endings and swords to plowshares and stuff like that. But if they do, like, the Chalice does make it difficult for them, so. It's a fairy fucking Time Raveler. Okay, well, if you want to bounce the Chalice, then your Teferi dies, and I'm just going to replay it anyway. So. And if you bounce the Merfolk Trickster, then that's fine. Because then the Chalice is sticking. Okay, they tick it up. That makes sense. Put Teferi on 2 so he can't bounce anything. So we have an interesting choice of whether to play Otawara here, and I don't think we actually do. I think we want to save this. This can be activated even underneath a Teferi. And if I draw, like I said, if I draw another island or something, then I don't even need to play it in the first place. So holding it seems to be fine. We might see something like Days Undoing. Alright, take it easy. Have a good day at work. Or night, whichever it is there. Yeah, Chalice is still out, dummy. Okay, that was a blunder in their part. No, you cannot be doing that. Alright, well, they don't seem to have any more white sources or more lands. However, mine is uncounterable, so when I turn this island, or I turn this plains into an island, it's going to stick. So now you don't have white mana to even use Prismatic Ending. Well, this looks good for us. Alright, well, we're probably going to win here, so... I think we just attack with Trickster and Tideshaper, just in case they flash in, like, Snapcaster or something of that sort. Hull Breacher. Okay, sure. It doesn't really help you, does it? Because these have Island Walk anyway. So I think if I just play True-Name Nemesis here, I'm probably in an okay spot. But I could also just... I probably should play Otawara, though, instead, just so I can bounce this in response to them doing an Undoing. That seems like the safest bet. Yeah, you know what? I like that plan more, because then even if they have, like, a Force or something, I have 2 Petty Thefts for this thing, so it's not really threatening me. Drawing, Undoing, and casting it is not actually helping their cause that much. They're just going to end their own turn and give me 7 cards to kill them with. And I will still have Chalice in 1, so... Alright, what's going to be opponent? They might just be stuck with a bunch of cantrips they can't cast, so... Undoing is really the only option they have at this point. But it is not going to work out the way they think it is because of this. I mean, even if they resolved it and we had True-Name in play, there's very little chance that we would lose anyway. But I don't feel like taking the unnecessary risk. There's no reason to get greedy here. Like, we've got this game by the fucking balls, so let's just not screw it up, that's all. No, I'm not gonna block this. Are you kidding me? If they don't do anything on end step, I think I just flash in a Borrower. That puts 11 in play. And, like, again, then even if they do anything, like, they can't instant speed cast Undoing, so... Alright. This should give me some idea of what their plan is here. Like, if they just flash in another Breacher, I can just try to bounce it and win that way. Alright, they concede. Excellent. See, we had a really good plan there. Our match versus this deck should be pretty good. Honestly, almost every card in our deck is just fantastic. What do I not want here? Maybe I cut Tide Shapers and just bring in, like, Force of Negations. Or Dismember is also not the worst. Like, we don't really need to change a whole lot. Dismember is also possible. Like, we could bring that in for the whole Breachers, but, like, It's also possible maybe we take out Trickster. Because, like, I don't know if I want to do that. Trickster is also really good, too. We have, like, so much good stuff here. Maybe I don't need all of these. I have to cut 2 cards, and, like, every single one of these cards is great. Alright, we'll cut the Tide Shapers for forces. Like, we can counter Undoings and also Planeswalkers with them, and, like, really that's the most important thing, so... this hand seems good. We have our Vial, we have our Forces, we have our True-Name, so... And we even have it with Cavern of Souls. If we can stick True-Name, it will be very difficult for them to remove it. Guessing Brainstorm? No, they just don't do anything. Okay. So, like, no cantrips. No... That's surprising. Maybe they're holding on to, like, swords or something. That doesn't seem reasonable either, though. I really want to draw, like, Silvergill Adept this turn. So I can go Cavern, Silvergill, and still have, like, Lord to pitch to Force of Negation next turn. In case they play, like, Teferi. But I'll take, like, any blue card. That's fine. Yeah, I don't need to do this right now. I can wait till their turn to decide whether I want to play this. Which I think I probably will. Okay. So we might see a Brainstorm here. Because now they have, like, Pyroblast stuff, right? So this Cavern of Souls is going to matter a lot this game. Which means, yeah, if they're holding on to, like, Pyroblast, then probably they could have just a ton of removal in hand, so maybe I don't play the Trickster here. Wasteland would still be a good draw to take them off of a color. Alright, let's see what they do. Nothing. I don't think, like, with that much removal up here, like, potentially Bolts, Pyroblast, Swords to Plowshares, like, there's no real reason to throw Trickster away into this. Especially because I have True-Name on the way. Like, they don't really have a good plan for True-Name. They can't counter it, and their removal can't touch it, and my counter spells protect it, so it's going to be very hard. They have to combo something like Dress Down into Pyroblast, and again, like, I just have to use the counter spells to protect them. And this is also part of the problem for them, because once True-Name is out, even if they resolve Days Undoing, the clock from True-Name is still very, very real. Hull Breacher. I would really prefer that you don't do that. And hopefully from here I can just hold Force up. Like, I have no real need to play either of these at the moment. Prismatic ending my Aether Vial. How much do I care about this? You know what? I'm going to put the Lord in play. Because if they have a Pyroblast, then it means it won't be aimed at Force of Negation when they need it. And I can play the Trickster at any point, so this is fine. I don't really need this out here, but if they're going after Vial, then it makes the Lord a little bit harder to use anyway, so if they aim a Pyroblast at this, like I said, then Force gets a lot stronger anyway, so I think it encourages them to make a mistake with that if they have it, because they are tapped out of white here. Okay, cool. Pyroblasted away. I'm not protecting it. Not concerned in the slightest. And from here, like, the only thing that I even might consider playing is, like, maybe another True-Name Nemesis. Like, it's difficult to go wrong from this position. That's not bad. I also can play that at flash speed, so... Still vulnerable to the removal, but it gives me more disruptive options. So, like, they play Hull Breacher into Days Undoing. Trickster can uncounterably deal with it. I do have the option of Petty Theft, and like they also have the Force for the Undoing. There's a lot of ways it can go right. They're playing a little bit slowly, but I don't know how much it's helping them. Do nothing here. I think I'm okay with this. Sure. It just gives me more options to like do Petty Theft plus Trickster in a given turn if I need to. Drawing the second Otawara is also very strong against Teferi now. So, still a lot of ways for this to go right. I expect Breacher to be flashed in, which is okay with me if they do that. Yeah. So again, if they cast Days Undoing, it's still okay. Can deal with it in numerous ways here. Probably what I would do is Trickster this thing. And then let them give us 7 cards. So They chose not to shuffle, so that they think that whatever's on top is fine. They have Scalding Tarn. Okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to go for it? I don't think it's going to end as well as you believe it will. You're not winning the race, so I am not concerned. That's actually okay, because I can play the Master and still have Trickster up. You know, if I was gonna play it, though, I probably should have played it first. There's another blue card for Force, so it does make it easier for me to cast, like, Borrower if I want to. At the moment, yeah, like I said, we're winning this race, so not particularly concerned about whatever they might do here. So if they go for it, I think what I do first is attempt to petty theft it and see if they try to counter it. It looks like they might be trying to set up Undoing plus Pyroblast. Narset. I think that's okay. Right. Force of Will, huh? They use Force. Okay. Save 3 cards. I could try to kill them. I don't think I need to. I can just kill Narset here. Oh, that's pretty good. So turn off Pyroblast. Turns off all their stupid cantrips, and now it just puts them in a position where they're very vulnerable. Like, they basically have to tap out in order to go for it, and just a Trickster on its own just disrupts that entire plan. But, I mean, it's still fine, right? Play Trickster, tap this thing down. Let them give me 7 cards. My chances of drawing a Lord are extremely high. Like, they've got to do it now. Supreme Verdict. Okay, they're desperate here. Alright, that's fine. I can just play Trickster now. This is why, you know, we're patient. They'll do the dirty work for us here. They have nothing. They're on 2 cards here, and they know that nothing is going to work. We still have a clock. That's great. This puts them at 4, which means they're dead next turn. And we have 2 force. Yeah, we have a force to protect us, basically, so. They do anything of significance, we just pitch force and they're dead. We're probably only countering, like, Prismatic Ending. Maybe, like, Teferi if they play that. Could have another Hull Breacher, that's definitely possible. There's already 2 in the graveyard, so it's not terribly likely. Yeah, they just gave up. They realized they had nothing. Alright, excellent. There we go. We're 2-1. It's one of our better matches. It's still a little bit tricky because their removal has gotten a little bit better over the past few years, but I think this construction of this deck is still very strong against them. Chalice does a lot of work. You know, just uncounterable true names are a very good way to beat them. Oh, finally, we don't have to wait 4 minutes this time. That's great. We navigated that match with a fair bit of precision, and it worked out. Okay. We lost the die roll. Or, I mean, we had to lose sometime. Can't be on the play forever, so. Alright. They're going to play first. And it's not bad. You have force. Like, I think this is worth gambling on. They're playing Urion, so this is like Death and Taxes. If this is Death and Taxes, we do have True-Name and we have Aether Vial, which are usually good cards against them. We'll probably use this force to counter their Vial and pitch a Trickster. I mean, I'll keep it. Like, this is less good against Taxes, if that's what we're playing against. It is not Taxes. Okay, interesting. I don't know what Polluted Delta Urion decks exist in this format. I'm not familiar with that. Hopefully Chalice on 1 will come out next turn. Island, Prismatic Vista. Maybe this is like Stoneblade? No, it is not. Baleful Strix. That can't be good. Okay. Alright, well, time to see if this actually does something. And then we'll take up Vial, and then maybe a Trickster can take out this Baleful Strix. Snow-covered plains. Okay, so we are up against Esper. Alright, what are you doing here? Plague Engineer? No, 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 no. You can fuck all the way off with that shit. Get that the fuck out of my face. Absolutely haram. Okay. Lord of Atlantis. And we'll just hopefully use Merfolk Trickster to eat the Strix. I'm keeping the Vial up for Trickster just because I'm testing them to see if they have counter magic here, which it doesn't look like they do. But I want the Trickster to Vial in just in case, for whatever reason. If they countered the Lord, then the Trickster would still be uncounterable and eat this thing, so that's why we're baiting it with the Lord instead of the other way around. Vialing in the Lord doesn't particularly help me, so... You bet... Okay, they just put Yorion in hand. They do nothing, huh? Okay. Interesting. Okay, I'm not gonna do anything here. Nope. They didn't have a counter spell last turn. The odds that they have one this turn is still pretty low. This is a trap, opponent. You should not be making this block. You have to know this. You played around it last turn. There's no reason you should just accept it now. Just take your 2 damage on the chin like a champion. You know better. You're trying to keep this thing so that you can Yuri on it next turn. That's obviously the play. This is gonna be hard. Like, it's gonna be a climb. Yurion can come out now and blink this Baleful Strix. Do not make the mistake of attacking with it, please. Yeah, okay, there we go. It's like, I beg of you, don't block, or don't make that mistake. Alright. I think we gotta try to attack while the getting is good. Let's tap Yurion. This gets us 7 damage here. We could have Force up, they don't know, so... If they foolishly attack with, like, both of them, then I can just flash in Brazen Borrower, and that will be sufficient. It looks like this Chalice in 1 has hurt them a fair bit. Okay, I don't think that's a problem. Okay. I'm totally okay with winning in 2 turns. Just remember we have Chalice out, so we can't use the Tide Shaper. If this attack connects, then that means we are okay with True-Name. Oh god, what the fuck are they doing for 5 mana? Solitude? Oh, they're gonna block my Trickster, I see. I can't stop that. Yeah, that's rough. Okay. So right now, Solitude is brick walling my True-Name because they're gaining 3 life and we are losing 3 life. I have to take it, but I think I also have to play Brazen Borrower this turn. So that puts him to 3, and then theoretically, like, they're gonna bounce Yurion. Ooh, that's rough. Yeah, that's pretty good. A Blink Solitude. Well, they can't do anything to True-Name here, so... Borrower doesn't really do anything right now. Is there any reason not to tick this up to 3? So if I draw another True-Name, I want to be able to play that plus the Petty Theft. So the problem right now is that Yorion is going to kill me, and I have to be worried about Solitude. Any creature I play, they can just kill it with Solitude, so... I could bounce Solitude, but that's not going to help my cause because they'll just exile something again. If I attack them, this is going to attack me for sure. These are both bad here. Ugh. The sad thing is I might need to bounce the Yorion this turn. Well, they're going to 8, so that's a little bit of help. I just have to be... Like, if they find another Plague Engineer, we're sunk. Alright, let's evade and attack, I guess. They should just use Caracas in this right now to get rid of the Borrower. This doesn't take thought. Tap Caracas, target this thing, so then this goes away. So if you don't, then I have another block for this in the future, which is just pointless to give that to me. I'm trying to buy myself time so I can find another True-Name and then potentially race this. Or even like a Merfolk Trickster would be okay. But we are running out of time. We need to find something. What are you doing? Why is this taking so long? Opponent, I believe in you. I know that you know how to do this. You did it last turn. Okay, there we go. That wasn't so hard, was it? Okay, that's fine. You blank your Solitude again. I just needed to... This was worth 4 life. That's basically what I was doing. I pay 2, gain 4 life. Ugh, fuck. Well, it's not the worst because if they do this again, I can just force it, so... Alright, I can't attack here, but I can at least... If they're just stuck on a bunch of, like, cantrips or, you know, something useless, then when they go for this trick again, Force will actually counter this thing. It'll buy us some time. Interesting. They were smart not to bounce it now. They know! Alright. So they know about Cursecatcher. You're gonna hard cast a Force here. Okay, so what this basically comes down to... They're gonna put me to 1 next turn. I can force their Force, but if I do that, then I'm just losing. However, I still have nothing for this anyway. So it'll come down to me drawing a card next turn. So does it make a difference? If I draw another Silvergill next turn, it could potentially give me an extra card. So... Like, I can get an extra card now. I guess I could draw Otawara as well. The thing is, I'm gonna be at 1 though, and then I won't be able to use this force anyway, so I don't know. It's all really bad. I think if I'm at 1 and I'm drawing Otawara, I think I'm sunk anyway. Like, it's all pretty much losing, so may as well see if we can find it off of this thing. That's not gonna do it. Alright, you know what? Conceit game. Like, Urion just kills us. None of the options actually were winning. Alright, this is a hard match. We need Dismember. Harbinger, I think, helps a little bit, but not, like, a whole lot. Cursecatcher maybe helps, but, like, then probably doesn't really a whole lot. And Silvergill is just really bad against Plague Engineer. That's kind of what it comes down to. Engineer is just going to be a beating no matter what we do. It seems like Chalice on 1 was doing some work there, so it's nice. Yeah. But I don't feel very favored in this match. Solitude is just such a fucking beating. I would much rather they be playing like Swords to Plowshares and not Solitude. But this deck is probably playing both. So even if we play Chalice in 1, they can still at least pitch Solitude, or they pitch Swords to Solitude, and it's not great. True-Name is our only way through, but at the same time, they have main deck Plague Engineer, so we might see that, and that might sink us. Yeah, kind of ran out of steam when we got close to the end. We went for it, and just unfortunately, they had what they needed. The Force of Negation doesn't really help because it doesn't. The problem is like all the really important stuff is like Urion and Stoneforge Mystic and like Solitude, and Force of Negation is not going to help versus any of those. So yeah, and and Plague Engineer of course. So I guess I have to keep this. Keep it and pray. Oh, okay. So you know what? All right. So they're Esper. Okay, this makes sense. They might be playing Peacekeeper as well, which is even more dangerous to us. Pass, I guess. If I can get a land, this vial might be helpful, but yeah, okay. Just 4 or 3 Aether Vials, huh? Yeah, there's no point in playing Tide Shaper as a 1/1 right now. It's a little late, but at least maybe if they have removal, it can turn that off. And we can start playing Lords and hope that that's enough. Just play a million Lords and pray. This Tide Shaper is probably Force Food. No, it definitely is Force Food. Yeah, we're doing that, so... Oh god, they have fucking Cavern of Souls and they name Human. That's not good. They got Urion. Alright, what are you doing, opponent? We are obviously not ticking this up. The only good news is that we're not, like, fucked against Plague Engineer right now. So we do have Lords, so... Okay. Gilded Drake. That was not the one! Opponent, no! What are you doing? Opponent, oh my god, why would you do that? That was definitely not it, my dude. Oh my god, why didn't I put the Lord in play? I was so happy that they took the wrong one that I didn't fucking vial in the Master. That's on me. That's a fuck up. What am I doing with my life? I don't know. Maybe it didn't matter. It can't be countered. Okay. Okay, so... face down pile and a face up pile. Put the one pile in their hand and the other in the graveyard. I think I don't want them to have Caracas, so we'll do this. Sure. Oh my god. I'm gonna look like a fucking moron because I am. I didn't put this in the play last turn when I should have. Alright, well, I deserve to lose now. Like... okay, this has Menace. I guess I just attack with Gilded Drake here. I could have like attacked them for so much more damage this turn. What am I doing? Oh well. Maybe True-Name will save us. It's very possible they have like Baleful Strix to throw in front of this guy. Oops. See, do you want to do anything now? No. Okay. Sometimes it is worth tapping the vial just to see if they'll put in like if it might encourage them to play something like Containment Priest. Okay. This is really bad if they just have Engineer. I could have had a Lord to protect my True-Name from this, so if I lose to Engineer, like, that's on me. Looks like they're ticking this one up in preparation of going to 5 for Urion, which makes sense. Has to be you own and control. Okay, so they can't blink the Gilded Drakes that they gave me. Well, I will say this deck had, like, yeah, knowing now that it's like the Esper Vial deck, like, this is definitely not a good match because we need way more creature interaction than, like, we have stuffed in our sideboard. Stuff like, what is it? I think it's Peacekeeper, like, is just, it's an ensnaring bridge on a stick, basically, and it's difficult for us to beat it. I am definitely forcing this thing. They just, if you're gonna hard cast it, I'm definitely forcing it. Because I'm not letting you do it. Okay. Oh, Venser. Okay, that makes sense. So, sure. They can blink Venser to just, like, what, take their Gilded Drakes back? I think we're just dead. Like, there's no way that we can defeat this. I think we can safely say now our mistake didn't really matter because I doubt that there was anything we can do about this. There's way too much. They're gonna blink all those and, like, it is just not going to matter. And here, Venser probably is just gonna bounce the Gilded Drake. They're bouncing the Aether Vial, that's surprising. I'm surprised they didn't use Sky... Okay, no, they did target this. Okay, so that makes sense. I think I've seen enough. Like, there is way too much that hate there for us to beat it. All right. That was a really tough one. What are you gonna do? Not a deck that you run into a whole lot, but it is not a good match because we are primarily set up to fight against the like Delver decks and like the Days Undoings decks, and also the eight cast deck. So those are where we're tuned to at the moment. Creatures are just going to be hard to deal with. That's all. And to a certain extent, like there's just a lot of those kind of creaturey decks that are just unlikely that Merfolk can be tuned to be positive against. Like, you can be less bad against them, but it's going to be a struggle no matter how many Dismembers are in your main deck against it. They have way too many tools against us. So, at the very least, our mistake didn't end up costing us the game. It's just we kind of lost because they just had way too much stuff for it to deal with. That's all. So, there is some small solace in that. All right, well, it happens when you run into the leagues. You're just going to play against some stuff that you're not prepared for. So, there we go. But now we have to wait for our last match to show up, and hopefully it won't take another 4 minutes. Come on. I want to play. I need this to be done with. There we go. We got a match. Excellent. How goes the grind? Well, we got beat by the Uro deck, which is rough because, like, we kind of got mana screwed against that deck, so I think we have good chances versus it, but not on a mana screw hand. We beat Hammer Time, which was good, and how was the other deck that we beat? Oh yeah, we beat like the Days Undoing deck, which we should be beating. And then we just lost against really, I think what is not a terribly good matchup. So we are on the draw. The opponent is mulliganed, and I think we have an excellent hand to keep here. So we're definitely still working on Merfolk. Yeah, we're gonna go. We have Vial into Lords into a bajillion Lords. They're on 5 cards, so depending on what they're on, this is the kind of hand that can just overrun certain decks. If they're on combo, this will be a little bit harder. This looks like it might be Reanimator. Thoughtseize. Okay, well, if they're Thoughtseizing me, they took Aether Vial, so I don't know what this means. They don't know about True-Name, but they know about these cards. For all they know, we could have drawn a Force. Now, this definitely is Reanimator for sure, right? It has to be. Okay, you know what? It's fine if it is. Because games 2 and 3, we have more stuff to bring in against them. We're going to see Gristlebrand right now, so... Alright. Obviously, if I had a Force, I would have used it, so... So they're at 2. They can just kind of go off here. Shadow. There are a couple Shadow cards in Modern Horizons, actually. Dothy Voidwalker is probably the one that sees the most play. So, Exhume. Sure, you know about this. They have Archon. Yeah, alright. We've seen enough. That's fine. So, they were on the play, whatever, it's fine. We have cards to bring in against them. We bring in Force, we bring in Hearse, we bring in Cage. Hearse is going to be a little bit slow against this deck, so it's a little bit rough. True-Name Nemesis comes out. And Borrower is not dead, but it is a little bit slow. This is probably not a Tide Shaper match, so I think we can cut Tide Shaper. And I don't really need the rest of these cards. We just run it like this. That's all. So we are on the play. We do have Grafdigger's Cage, so we're going to keep this. Even if they... Yeah. I'm going to hopefully play Chalice of the Void and try to nail it on one. I don't need the Aether Vials right now. The only thing that sucks is they can entomb for the... They got a Gristlebrand here? Alright, well that's not good. That's really... So they have to remove the Cage first. I'm surprised they didn't... They didn't go for the shenanigans. Okay, Dark Confidant, it's fine. I think I'm just going to flash in Brazen Borrower here. And drew a land. Plague Engineer. Okay, I guess they're going to name Merfolk, so... Which means Borrower is still going to be okay. And I think I just name... Fuck, if I put this on 2, like, I'm actually in danger. It would turn off basically everything else in their deck, though. So let's see, they're attacking me for 4 a turn. I'm attacking them for 3, but they're also losing life to Dark Confidant. Why the fuck are they playing Dark Confidant in a deck with Gristlebrand still in it? If they just flip, like, one card with this, like, the race just swings to my favor, so... I think I'm just going to play Otawara and play Chalice on 2, so they can't get rid of any of this nonsense. Alright, good luck, opponent. Greatness at any cost. Alright, there's Reanimate, so... Let's see what you got. You attack for 4, I attack for 3. But Confidant could just murder you at any point, so... But the important thing is Chalice and 2 stops them from getting shenanigans here. Oh, Grief. That's not really helpful to you. Rotting Regisar. Why did you not attack? I should be at 10, right? Is there any reason that... Not attacking just, like, killed you? You can't block this. It has flying. I think, yeah, they just realized how badly they fucked up here. Okay, well, I'm going to bring in the 2 Dismembers, and I think I'm going to bring in the Harbinger of the Tides. I'm going to take out the Silvergill Adept. Actually, they do have, yeah, they have Plague Engineer, so I don't think Silvergill is going to be that good, but Harbinger and Dismember seem like they'll probably be a little bit better. Alright, go to game 3. We have Chalice. Like, this is not the worst. But we're still cold if they just do stuff. Like, this is a little bit slow. They kept 7 cards. Like, I don't know if I trust this. I'm just catching up on cards, you know, beta, alpha, and like, say. I am not confident that this is enough to beat them. I don't think that's enough either. Alright. I have to keep this. And I guess I put Lord of Atlantis in the bottom and probably Aether Vial. It's either Aether... No, maybe it has to be Wasteland, to be honest. Alright. Just hope that Force is enough. Thoughtseize target me. Alright. Take my Force, I guess. Alright, I need to draw something now. That's not really it. Okay, so they're free to just cast a fucking Gristlebrand if they have it, so... Here we go. It's happening. We haven't lost yet, but it's pretty close. There's the Entomb, and they have the yeah, so they had the Disruption plus the Gristlebrand, yeah, so we're just dead. We needed something a little bit better than this. They kind of got lucky in game 1, and then game 3, like, our hand just sucked, and they had a good hand, so... Like, in general, this match is pretty good for us, but not today, so, you know... We're gonna get got by them despite having all the cards. Like, the hearse definitely looks real slow right now. Yeah, okay, sure. We're fucked. There is nothing we can do to come back from this. No draw on our deck is gonna defeat this. Well, you definitely just take Harbinger. There's no reason to, like, let me keep that. This goes up to 1, and it doesn't do anything. They gain 7 life here, and I'm going to take 11. And they'll just probably draw 7 more cards. Alright. I guess it's theoretically possible if I draw Trickster, then maybe I'm alive or something like that. They are going to draw 7. Are they just, like, trying to give me a chance? Is that what's happening? What are they doing? Entomb, an Archon of Cruelty. Okay, now if they can reanimate the Archon of Cruelty, then that's it. Grief? They're going to evoke Grief here. Okay, well, we're not dead yet, but it's real close. Okay, so they can't... No, never mind. They have a land too, so they did have everything, so... Here, yeah, so they just bring back Archon of Cruelty. Alright, that we can't defeat. Whatever. Losing to Reanimator sucks, but what are you going to do? It happens. That is definitely a match where I think Hearse is a little bit slow. Like, we have 2 Grafdigger's cages. This is like a match where something like Surgical, or even better would be Fairy Macabre, be a lot better versus them, but we just don't have enough slots for it. So Hearse is kind of like there is like a backup plan more than it is like a primary way to shut them off. The Grief is tough. We don't have a lot to if they have like the Thoughtseize like into the combo, like it's difficult, especially in the draw. I think we were on the draw there in the first game, so like that also made it difficult. And like we didn't have like a terribly great hand. I think we kept like a aggro hand, and that was definitely a match where we needed like forces. So happens versus Reanimator, but you know that's part of the charm of Legacy. Is like not every game is gonna be like fair Magic. Sometimes you know you just play decks that just gamble like that, and so generally not a bad matchup for us. But this time the dice roll did not go our way. So what are you gonna do? So out of our 3 losses, one of them was just kind of like, you know, it's Reanimator nonsense, so whatever. Uro's a tough one to swallow because like we should be a lot better than our match showed. So like that had a lot to do with mana screw, so I'm not really worried about that. So like the 2 of the losses I don't really consider like that important to the construction of this deck. The other one though was like Aether Vial, and yeah, I don't expect that we're gonna beat that. So, I don't know. There's not like much I'm gonna change because, like I said, it's some of the decks like I don't necessarily do expect to see Hammer Time, and I don't expect to see a lot of Aether Vial and stuff like that. But the rest is fine because the 3 of the 5 decks are decks that we expect to be around, and you know, I think we can reasonably beat them. So, like I said, I'm not too concerned about this, but I don't know if we want to keep playing with this or not. We didn't get to try it against Delver at all, so maybe it's worth trying a little bit more. But it's definitely not going to help us against Reanimator, that's for sure. It's super slow. You really need some... but the thing is, like, Relic doesn't help that much against Reanimator either, right on the first turn. The hard part is, like, when you're forced to keep like 1 land hands because you can at least play Relic, and then if they don't combo that turn, then you have the Relic option to just nuke the graveyard entirely. Whereas if you only have 1 land, you're never playing this, and Reanimator's just going to do their thing, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it has that working against it, so that match is going to be slightly worse in that regard, but I don't know. Overall, it shouldn't be that much worse. So there we go. That's what we got for today. So I hope everybody was having fun tonight. I think it was a pretty reasonable night of Magic. So, like I said, it's 2-3, but like I'm not terribly like worried about it. It's not like it was like a devastating like fucking 2-3 or anything like that. So, all right, we gotta go find someone else to watch here. All right, okay. Let me take a quick look and see what we got going on. Who is playing stuff right now that might be interesting to watch? Fluffy Wolf is playing with Stickball Russ. Okay, we're definitely gonna go and support them. I like both of these people, so we're gonna go and check them out. They're playing Modern tonight. They're playing the Mono Blacklist, so the one with like Cabal Coffers. But both of them, both Fluffy Wolf and Stickball Russ, are awesome. You should definitely go and check them out. So, everybody, please go enjoy that. And I thank you for being with me tonight. Maybe we'll play the Coco list for Modern next week. That's possible. I know I'm not like huge on Modern at the moment because it has a lot to do with very elemental shaped cards, but I know that like Modern is still like one of the formats that does very, very well in the metrics, so people like Modern even when I don't. So I try to play at least a little bit of everything, so maybe we'll see that next week. But that's all I've got for now, so everybody enjoy, and I will see you again next week.